Welcome to The Real Estate Show. From buying to selling and everything in between. Rochester's home for everything real estate. And now, your hosts from the Anthony Butera team of Keller Williams Realty, Greater Rochester. It's Anthony Butera and Jason Mancuso.
Everybody, welcome to episode 25 of the Real Estate Show.
25 or 24?
24. Oh,
Losing track.
Jumping ahead.
We made it. We're losing track.
24.
Yeah, 25's, what's that?
That's the diamond anniversary.
Oh my
I
God.
need diamonds next week.
Let's buy diamonds for each other.
Yeah. Go to
Earrings?
Man's Jewelers.
What's that?
Earrings? I'd look great with diamond earrings.
It's
No doubt about it.
It's like Vanilla Ice style,
Right.
you know, the
Yeah.
one diamond earring. Yeah, episode 24. And,
Doing episode 25 shirtless, right?
yeah,
Yeah, that's what
that's the diamond anniversary.
That's the shirtless anniversary.
Yeah, that'll
That's
be
what-
the end of our podcast.
That's what the
People are asking for, so we're gonna give it to them.
I've just started. Well, we got Jason and Anthony here, and I've just started the remodeling process of my house. That I didn't realize I was going to do this summer. It just kind of started happening.
Oh,
Started with one.
Well, it started
I'm not that poor, but I'm semi-poor, and I also have so many kids that there's grant programs that Monroe County have. Where they'll hook you up with like half grant, half loan, low interest loan. So my dad just gave me this packet, and I was like, no way do I qualify for this. This is for people that if I wanted windows, I could save up and I could get windows.
Yeah,
if I really wanted to. But I wasn't even thinking about it, and I qualify. We barely qualified. I was like, this is great.
yeah, man, beat the system.
Yeah, we call it. So we're all those people that you're complaining about where your tax money goes. It's me.
That's you.
Yeah,
enough.
I'm the one I'm the leech.
At least we can look at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, cool. We're getting new windows or whatever, and then they're like, oh, and also new insulation, and so that was happening, and then my septic tank broke. So that's happened. I mean, that's just coming out of my pocket.
What is that going to run?
The most recent quote I got was $18,000 I think.
And no, I mean, there's no public sewers anywhere near you.
No, I didn't even realize so I'm in Riga in Churchville, which is pretty far out,
Yeah.
and everybody's pretty much septic. I think there's maybe one little part off Main Street that isn't. That's neighborhoody.
Yeah.
Maybe that isn't. But I went and visited some friends further east in, I think it was Chili, off of Stony Point. Mm-hmm. And they had septic too. Mm-hmm. And it's I didn't even think, I thought Chili was all connected, you know? So.
Gotta get the mayor of Riga on the horn.
Yeah, call them up.
Well, his street wouldn't stand a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, I sold him that house years ago, and
Great job.
There's literally
Not
it's
Anthony's fault.
It's his house and one farm, and
That's
so
it.
the town is not going to be incentivized.
Yeah, we're not priority number one, to get this going.
You'll get green light first.
Yeah, so
That's a bummer.
we got, well, I mean, it happens.
It's life, right?
And then we're talking to somebody tomorrow about remodeling our bathroom. So just this week, though, they came in and they did the insulation where they'll basically cut a hole in some walls and just blow it all in. And they did something in the basement where the house connects to the cinder block, and they
Foamed it?
foamed it and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
some energy saving things
Yeah, I was
going
gonna
on.
say,
So we started with that.
Your bills will be lower this winter.
Oh, and we're getting solar panels.
There you
So
go.
just
Oh,
everything.
You talked about that before, so
Yeah.
dive into that for a minute. I mean, don't ruin my show, but
right.
Yeah.
Solar panels?
Yeah.
Um,
Which side of the house they go on?
the
Because it's
south.
Okay.
South side.
Which is going to be the back of your house?
No,
Or it's
front.
going to be the front.
Yeah, front of the house.
Gotcha.
And, I mean, I guess it'd be better if it was the back, right? I mean,
Yeah, ideally.
Hey, I mean,
but I figure it's
New septic tank.
once
solar
you see your
panels.
bill,
Yeah.
I mean, you're pimping out
Yeah.
energy
Well,
efficiency.
I feel like
here.
I'm going full, what's it called? Doomsday prepper?
Yeah.
Where it's all I need is well water, and I'm completely self-sufficient,
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
You know what I mean? Get a wood stove, a flannel shirt,
Bunch of canned goods.
couple guns, and I'm freaking ready, you know?
Right. No zombies are getting through you.
I'm interested now. Did they talk about the process of they're going to do blow-in insulation.
They already did
in the
it.
wall. Okay, so did they gain access through the attic and go down and through?
We got a cape. I basically told them was don't ruin any nice walls. So if you're gonna make a hole in the wall, it's gonna be in a closet or something.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
sure.
or there's
Yeah.
some
Gotcha.
there's already some access points.
sense.
So they basically did they were able to do, I think, pretty much the entire. I don't know if you'd call it an attic. I mean, the attic's the second floor
Yeah.
where the bedrooms are, and some of it they accessed from the outside. They peeled
Okay.
back the siding and did it that way, and then covered back up.
Wow.
So you guys are hunkering down. Going to be there for a while then, huh?
Yes, I don't know why.
Hopefully.
You trying to sell me? Get me out of the house?
Yeah, we'll see. When everything's done, I'll get back out.
Right, get back out there.
We
We'll
may
see.
just be selling. And I mean, think about it at that point, because his exterior was all redone, so that looks it's done very, very nicely, very tasteful, which is shocking.
We were gonna go do polka dot.
Yeah. I think someone advised him just let the contractor take the
Right.
colors. So that no, I mean, it'd be interesting when you're done, when everything's said and done, bathroom and all this stuff you guys are doing. Like, what's ROI? You know what I mean? What's the return on investment? Now, septic zero.
Septic's
right?
one of those things, right? Where it needs to be.
Yeah.
You need
Yeah.
to poop somewhere.
Yeah.
It's not extra, you know.
Unless you have, but you have. So your kid breakdown is 2 boys.
One boy, 2 girls.
2 girls.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, girls don't poop. Your wife doesn't.
Yeah,
so it's
they
just
never-
you and your one son.
But we do it a lot.
Yeah,
you know?
we
we
do
do
a
it
lot,
like we do it extra, you know.
Okay.
So there's that situation.
Fair.
But yeah, well, I'll keep you guys
Updated on.
So
on
what?
the
The
mess in my
bathroom?
house.
You just blowing it up or
Bathroom, well-
facelift?
Yeah,
Is that no? Is it? Was that a?
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I mean,
Seamless
you've seen
transition.
how horrible my bathroom is and how small it is.
I wouldn't be in it.
I don't know how much a full remodel
Is on it because well, it's basically
I work for a radio station on air, and it's like an endorsement type thing.
Yeah.
So I'm only paying
There
for
you
half
go.
of it.
Ah.
Look at you.
But I don't know. Like, I don't want to pay, like, you know, I don't know how much a remodel
what's
bathroom
half?
goes
Yeah,
for.
what's half? Well, again,
Half of what?
It can start bare bottom, and then you could really get out of hand. But I mean, the reality is there's gonna be flooring, fixtures,
Sure.
vanity, and then the most expensive is gonna be, what are you gonna do with the shower, right?
Sure,
Are you gonna
yeah.
do a tiled-in shower? Are you just going to do an encasement, like, you know what I mean? Put
Like
something
bath
over
fitter
the,
type thing
yeah.
or something. Yeah.
So it really just it could, sky's the limit, right? But
Sure.
When do we get sponsors?
sponsors,
I want some like.
we've lost them before we even
I
were
want
able
like
to approach them.
I want like a walk-in cooler company to sponsor us and get half.
Budweiser owes you something.
Right.
Bud Heavy, they owe you something. That's for sure.
We gotta get something going.
well, what do we want to talk about today?
Today, we want to talk about getting into the real estate business, right?
Yeah, I figured we would talk about that. I get approached quite a bit, and there's a lot of misconceptions, good and bad. And I just feel like that there's an ounce in everybody that that's not in real estate that has considered it. You know what I mean? And I guess just getting some of the realities out there of getting into the business, what it looks like, what to anticipate. What's required just to obtain a license.
Yeah.
To become a real estate agent.
Yeah, I think the genesis of the topic is, like you said, everybody's got a little itch they want to scratch regarding real estate in some way, somehow. I mean, it may not be like, hey, I want to sell homes. A lot of it can be, I want to get into flipping homes or be an investor, and why don't I just get my license so I can save the commission, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Depending. I mean, I would venture to say most guys that are an investor or a flipper, in that category,
Yeah.
they're not licensed.
Uh-huh.
They do what they do best, and they leave the sales end of
Yeah.
it to the people that do that.
I feel like for the most part, like the people that reach out to me, which I find is most people in general, right? So, I mean, you go through school, you go to college, then you get the job that everybody wanted you to get, and then you get there and you can't stand it. I could never go back to a job. I don't feel like I have a job. I could never go back to it. I could never go back to the.
Right.
And I'm not going to say that it's the grind, because the grind doesn't compare to what my day to day is, right? But I don't feel like I have to wake up and go to work. I feel like I'm waking up, and I'm grinding it. There's 14, 16-hour days. But with that being said, I'm chasing my passion.
Yeah, and it's working for the man or working for yourself, right?
Yeah.
So that's a different grind when you know that you have your own business that you own.
And those are the calls I get. It's like the depressed husband with a wife and 2 kids and
3 kids.
3 kids. And 3 kids that they're just, I'm getting the phone calls, and it's like, hey, what's going on, buddy? I freaking hate my job, dude. I hate it. I don't ever want to go back there.
Yep.
I tried talking to Michelle about it, and she immediately yelled at me and said there's no money, and you're going to put the family at risk, and we have no health care, and you know what I mean? And in that case, she has some valid points,
Absolutely.
right? I mean,
Absolutely.
you are you're an independent.
Something like
An
that.
independent contractor. It's a new political.
Political party, the Independents.
It's a new political party, the Independents. But there's a lot of truth to that. But I think in the end, I think what keeps people interested is the desire to, control your schedule. Which again, you can control a schedule.
Right.
I could say today that my schedule is controlled, but all that meant was, it's booked from 8 a.m. till 9 p.m. tonight, right? But I'm controlling my schedule.
Yeah, if you wanted to take the day off, you very well could. You just know that you're not doing any money-making activities,
Correct.
Essentially. There's no revenue coming in off of that day off.
Exactly.
Versus, working for the man and you have paid time off.
But
You're on vacation.
Yeah, you're
you know
on
the paycheck
vacation.
Sales coming in.
But I think psychologically what it does to people is, again, I don't know how many people, if you were to walk into Xerox, right, or Paychecks and start interviewing people, and you just did a survey, how many of you love what you do,
right,
and you're chasing your passion, right? How many people are in those offices, in those cubicles, that are chasing their passion? And we only get so many rotations around the sun, and with that said, are you doing what you want to do? I mean, maybe you can speak to this, Mark. I mean, you're in radio. I think you're doing what you want to do, right?
I think so. It ruins you too, because it's just like, man, if I ever got a real job,
it would stink.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
if you were held accountable, like that would.
It's like I have no hobbies.
Yeah.
Because I like what I do.
Sure.
I don't have like trains in my basement or something.
I think that speaks to it, though. I mean, you just laid out that essentially you enjoy what you do. Mm-hmm. Whether or not you're super passionate about your job, your career. If you can get to a place where I'm waking up in the morning and I'm happy about that, and not like I just feel like there's so many people out there that are driving to work and just like, do I turn left into my office, or do I turn right and drive off this bridge?
That's what I was going to say.
And that's that's life. People got to pay the bills, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to pay the mortgage. But I think what this business, what this career can provide is paying the mortgage, and that kind of reinvigorated just passion for life and being happy.
Yeah.
I mean, it is something. If you're not happy in this business, get the hell out, because there's too much stress around. There's too much at stake. You're dealing with people's lives on a daily basis,
and it's going to show.
Yeah, and if you're not happy with your own life and what you're doing on a hourly, minute by minute case, like you said, it's going to show. It's going to impact your business. You're going to make less money, and you're eventually going to be miserable.
This is going to get pretty deep, and I had a feeling that it would. It's probably going to turn into a 2 or maybe 3-part series, but it goes back to, again, what I was saying was, we'll start from the beginning. I was in construction before real estate, and you hear the term more often now because of technology. There's so many avenues for entrepreneurs to shine, and those avenues weren't there before when we were in school, right? I mean, you took math, you took English. I mean, Christ, I remember getting graded on my penmanship, right? And I could never get passionate about any of that. I loved history, so I always did well in that, right? So when you're supposed to get good grades so you can go to a good college so you can get the job that you don't want. So you can get the job that you think you want when you're 10 years old, when you're 15 years old, when you're 18 years old, right? And to me, an 18-year-old making decisions that are going to impact the rest of their life, to me, is insane.
I agree.
18-year-olds are so unevolved compared to 50 years ago, right? For them to make a decision that's going to affect their life at that age, at such a ripe age, how do you do that? How do you know what you want to do? Again, things for me change every year and what I want or what I think I want.
And plus, the world is so different this day and age, this generation, probably mainly because of technology, right? Where people can, just a random path. I mean, Netflix, Facebook, et cetera, all these new, hugely, enormously successful companies.
You could sell custom shoelaces
even
online.
15 years ago, right?
Yeah.
It's like you tell somebody about that then, and they're like, what are you talking about?
There's no outlet for that. There's no path that anybody's paved to do that. Yeah. Now it's so easy because of technology that now I think more than ever people are chasing their passions, and it's not like the money. Don't get me wrong. If it's your passion and you're going to fight for it, the money's a symptom of your activities, no matter what you do, right?
Yeah, no matter what industry.
Correct. And the moment I stopped even thinking about the money, more found its way to me because I was following my passion, and it was never about the money.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say that. At the beginning, it was. I think that was important to me at the beginning, right? Because I had.
You got to pay the bills.
I have to pay the bills. I already had a house. I had a car payment, so that was important, So, but with that being said, from the moment that I figured out that I'm going to make it in this was like the best day ever. And I stopped waking up thinking that I was going to work ever again. Right? So it's a cool thing. And again, I think people are going to, whether it's real estate or not, I think people are going to chase what they want to do instead of what is being told they should be doing, right? I mean, everybody, you got to think about your 401k and you got to think about your health insurance. That's first and foremost, right? And then you have a wife and you have kids, and then the decisions, again, they stop becoming your decisions. You can't chase what you want to chase. You have to chase what everyone's telling you you're supposed to chase, right?
Yeah.
Because you need the health insurance, you need the 401k. That's all attainable, and you can figure that out, but if you're not passionate and you hate what you're doing, listen, there's no fountain of youth. We're all dying. We know that, right? Right? We're all dying. Some days I feel like it's happening really fast. But
anyways, you should become a real estate agent.
Yeah, anyways, you should become a real estate agent. But, with that being said, just to go back from the beginning, again, those are typically the people that are reaching out to me. They hate their day-to-day. They hate their 9 to 5. And again, the term living for the weekend, that always is, it gets beat up all the time now. And I can relate because I remember Friday at 3:30 was like the best moment of my week because it meant I didn't have to come back to this job site, or if I was working in a shop, until Monday. But so Friday was great. Friday night was great. Saturday was wonderful. And then I remember spending my Sundays thinking, I gotta go back to that hellhole tomorrow.
That's just a shitty way to go about life, right? I mean, when you think
about it. But
it's
the reality for the majority.
And that's true. And not to stomp on everybody who's living that.
I want to stomp on them.
I get it. But, I mean, you 5 out of 7 days, essentially, you're just working for the weekend.
And not working a ton of hours.
Varying degrees of miserable, right? Yeah. So, I mean, mindset-wise, if you're just living for Friday at 5 o'clock to come, and then you've got, 48 hours of pure bliss and happiness, and then you're back to the next 5 days starting it all over.
And is it pure bliss and happiness? I don't have children, so I guess I'm not the right person to speak to it, but all I see everybody's weekends being filled with and consumed with is birthday parties and gymnastics and soccer tournaments and hockey tournaments and all of that, right? And ordering the bouncy house for the birthday, because now a 1-year-old's birthday costs the same as a wedding would cost 15 years ago. So it's like, that's the weekend? That's what you get to look forward to? What are you really looking forward to? And I think it's death at some point.
Speaking of that, we're going to bounce house for Marcos for a second.
Of course you are. Of course you are. You have to, right? But again, it's being able to chase something that you want to do, and I think it's important.
And it's a different day and age, and I think it's more available to do that now more than ever. I mean, back to like just what was the path of life.
Yeah.
Even 20 years ago. I mean, I'm even.
You were part of that.
Yeah. I mean, I have a 4-year degree in finance from a private university.
Yeah.
Never went to Wall Street. Never financial advisor.
Yeah.
For what? I mean, no regrets. I got a great education, have a great base for, my brain and into my business, right? So I appreciate that, and I never regret that, and thankful for that. But that was just following that, you have to go to college, you have to get a job out of college that suits, your major or whatever, and there's your career.
Yeah. Your experience of going and doing that and living on your own, right? Because you were out of town.
There's a whole nother show.
Yeah, I'm sure there's. We're gonna have to edit that show, but like the experience had more of a monetary value and a life value than the actual classes did, right?
Right.
I mean, I remember being in 4th grade and like doing, and being in math, and it was like, I've got this calculator right here. Why should I not use it?
Well, and here's the beauty of it: degree in finance. I was trying to do I don't know. Freaking
Basics.
Short division the other day.
Yeah. It's gone. It's lost. But you don't need it.
Well, that's just it. And that's just, I don't know. We're getting off track, but I mean, I think back to the concept of times are different. You can be. This doesn't even have to apply necessarily to a career in real estate.
Yeah.
This is a conversation of go do what you want that's going to make you happy and freaking figure out a way to make that revenue generating, right?
Yeah.
So whether it's, I mean, you heard the door open earlier. Our marketing director just walked in, and she's young 20s and just went on her own and started her own business,
Chasing what you wanted to do.
Case in point, right? I mean, you're Mark to a level. You're doing it too. You're here. We're paying you to do this. I mean, you
What?
said. Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
He doesn't know what's going on.
We could have found somebody much better than
you guys got a guy in the office making jerky on the side. So
Shout out to Jared Cracky and
doing-
Cracky Jerky.
go to the public market selling his jerky. Yeah.
I'm going to make sure he gets audited.
Delicious, by the way.
Does he sell it?
Do not.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to hear a really
not
good?
blow him up.
Listen to this
You
business.
just said his name. I didn't say his name. You said Jared Korecki. I would never say his name.
This business model. My brother used to work at the warehouse at Wegmans, and there was a guy, and I think he was he's either from South America or from some part of Mexico, and he's living here and working full time at the warehouse, and he made like really good, I don't know if it was burritos or something, and he would make 60 of them, put them in a duffel bag, bring them to work, and people
sell.
would buy them for $5.
Okay.
Where is he? Where is he this afternoon?
He's at the Wegmans warehouse. Head over there if you want a good burrito. It's cold though.
So is there recourse? Is that where this is ending? Or
No, I'm just
Okay.
saying that's
He's
a good
doing
business model. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
why
do it.
not?
Look at
Well,
that, his passion.
Yeah, but that is, clearly it is, and and the guy we're talking about, that's his passion. Whether he's profitable off it or not, he loves doing it. It's
Right.
still, you know what I mean. He loves being that guy.
If you can find a way, I mean, that's the ultimate. If you can find a way where you just have a hobby
Yeah.
that's profitable,
Yeah.
I'm not going to go as far as to say selling real estate is a hobby.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, just shifting back to we've found something that's passionate that's lucrative financially too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think we meant to talk about a specific career
Getting
in real
into
estate.
it.
This is shifting to just listen. The world is your oyster, right?
Yeah.
I mean, get out there and do
This is
damn
your
thing.
viral pep talk.
Yeah,
Well, it is.
I know.
So let's take a step back, right? So, okay, you want to get into real estate. I'll sum it up real quick because it's boring, and it's so again, you want to get in. You can get in. You can take the test. You can take a course online as cheap as $99. You could take it at the real estate board for about $450, $500. Okay?
It's the same thing?
It's the same.
Yep.
Yeah, same
Here,
content.
Quick story. Here's the beauty of this. When I got into the business first in 2009, they didn't have this online option.
Oh no.
I literally quit my job, young and dumb and 25, and I'm going to go light the world on fire in real estate. And didn't have 2 weeks vacation. Went to the board, took this class over 2 weeks.
Yeah.
License.
Yeah, I got mine in 2012. The online thing, I think, just really came
Yeah.
out then. So I was getting off of a knee surgery, and I said, you know what,
Yeah.
I have to accomplish something.
Online's the way
while
to
I'm
go.
sitting here.
don't quit your job and
Yeah.
just
Just
get into
do
real
it out
estate.
loud.
Yeah.
You know, let's not get too passionate in this, but I mean, again, times are changing where
Yeah.
things are easier.
And I didn't like what I was doing. The times were different. The Rochester economy, and not that it's like wonderful today, but it's light years ahead of where it was in 2012. You know, where we're still feeling the effects post-recession, right?
Right.
And the work picture just wasn't there. And I had to
Commercial construction.
commercial
right?
construction, exactly. It just wasn't there. And so I had a knee surgery, and I wanted to accomplish something because I was held up. And I said, you know what? I had no family in the business or anything. But again, I think everybody has an ounce in them that wanted to do real estate. So then I started thinking longer and harder about it. And don't get me wrong, the beginning was very scary, right? Because you should the people that care about you will give you the scary stats, because I think I have to. Because again, if I have a friend or even someone that I just meet for the first time, I'm going to care about that person. It's natural for me to care about that person. And do I want them to quit their job after they just told me that I have enough money to live for 6 months? Because that was my thing. I saved to pay my bills for 6 months. That's how I got into it.
Right.
But when you have a wife and kids at home, you're way more adverse to risk, right? So I didn't, I didn't have the same risk factor. And I talk about this with my brothers all the time, right? Because I want to get them more involved with things. But, they're less likely to roll the dice because, again, there's kids and there's a wife at home. So this can negatively affect them. And you think of them first, and rightfully so, right? But again, I see it holding so many people back that are capable of chasing stuff that they're passionate about, but they're going to slug it away and they're going to celebrate 40 years at Xerox or Bausch & Lomb or some of these companies, you know what I mean? And they, don't get me wrong, they're going to work a lot less than me, but psychologically, like the effects, if you don't like their job, I would rather work a 16-hour day doing what I'm doing now than 2 hours of what I was doing.
Well, and that's, back my example, that's why I made that decision. I was miserable where I was at in the corporate world, and screw it. Let's do it. Young, the time is now. So didn't have wife and kids in the picture, so it was a lot easier to take on that risk. But I think, if you do have if you have the family, you need the stability of a paycheck coming in. This example of a career may not be the best thing, but whether it's real estate, whether it's selling widgets, burritos out of a bag, whatever it may be, figure out a way to do it so there's a transition.
Yeah.
Where you're not just giving up everything and chasing something.
I agree and disagree.
Sure.
I agree because, unfortunately, most people, they don't have a choice but to go about it in a transition. For the right people, a transition makes sense if their mindset is there. For the wrong person, a transition is going to become an excuse why they never ended up making it, because they couldn't really give it all that they had.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
To me, if I had to bet on somebody, I'm going to bet on the person that completely walked away from their job and has no choice but to have commissions start to roll in come 6 months in the business. Is it easy? No, it's not easy. But, again, it's like anything else. You get out what you put in. And if you're going to outwork everybody, because there's no loyalty in this business anymore. Honestly, there is to a certain level. We have a sphere of influence. We have a client base. But the reality is you wouldn't believe the people that would turn their back on you if you couldn't get them into a property today and you can get them in tomorrow. They will call a stranger who will get them in today, and they'll write an offer tonight. So you have to you know what I mean? But with that said, that's all more of a reason why somebody brand new to the business that has nothing but time and can be the available person, right? And not the person with a ton of experience. And what's experience really mean? Anyway, right? I'll find somebody that's 3 years in the business that does the business way better than somebody that's 30 years in the business, because they genuinely care about their clients and they don't want to make any mistakes. Where I have experienced agents that will make a ton of mistakes and pass it off on you and have you cover for them. And so,
well, you mentioned time.
Yeah.
This has been said before, but there's 24 hours in a day, right?
Yep. Can't change it. I wish we could.
You can function on
me
6 hours of sleep.
3. I'm good.
I understand. The normal person we can all agree 6 hours of sleep. Get after it.
Yeah.
Right. So
I'm not saying I'm good. It's probably not good for me.
I get it,
but I can wake up and I can perform.
You have 2 years left to live because of it.
There's 18 hours left,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
All right. So if you have your day job, 8 hours a day, 10 hours left.
Yeah.
So what are you doing with those 10 hours?
Yeah.
This has been said before. Copyright whoever said it, but should I introduce a seventh personal perspective?
No, bring that jerky in here.
Jason's seventh personal perspective alludes to don't be what Trump said he likes to grab.
Yes.
So that's a lot of
Don't
what
be
plays
afraid,
into it. Don't
right?
be afraid.
I mean, just go out and do it.
Yeah.
Just freaking do it. Why have excuses? Why have limitations, limiting beliefs? Just do it.
Just and make it happen. And I said it before. If someone picked me up and dropped me off in Tucson, I don't have a single contact out there, and I had $30 to my name. I already know because of going through it and how passionate I am about the business. I already know that within a month I would have things going. I would have deals in the pipeline because you would figure out who's there that you need to know, who you should align yourself with, who you should surround yourself with, and I would make it happen because I would drive myself crazy until I make it happen, right? I wouldn't sleep until I make it happen. So do you have that in you? Or are you the person? I think some people can numb their brain down where their 9 to 5 is just, it's like brushing your teeth. You don't really think about it. You just do it. And it's just habitual. And you can get by. But if you're not happy, you are not going to be the best version of yourself for you, your wife, or your kids.
It shows. It really does. I mean, it rubs off on other people.
Yeah.
I mean, even something that generally I feel like I'm happy and passionate about something, but even the bad days wear off on my family, unfortunately, and that's coming from a place of what we're talking about, and on the right side of it, and being happy with life, that's still there. So I mean, you're sitting in the 9 to 5 and you're miserable Monday through Friday.
If you're going to be miserable and you're going to go through stuff, at least be miserable because you're grinding it out, chasing where you want to be, right? Because there's the point where you're not there yet. And some people, myself, right, I always have to be chasing something.
Right.
Now, the reality is I could really, because of the company I've aligned myself with at Keller Williams, I could, honest to God, I could stop selling real estate today and I would be okay. I'd make a good living. And that's all happened in 18 months because of what's there, passive income, what's out there, what can you create, passive ancillary income outside of what you do on your day-to-day, right?
And again, the conversation back to the world is such a different place right now. There's so many opportunities for that to occur.
Yeah.
And this has shifted to not being real estate centric, but I mean, we see it in every avenue of every topic of business. There's ways for people to be successful. That's a new thing. I say it all the time. It's like, but I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but I mean that there's $1 million idea that's just stupidest thing that you've heard of. But I mean, these things holding up the microphone, whatever it is,
I'll give you a perfect example. You and I were asked multiple times for referrals for our clients to have their carpets cleaned, right? Sure. And it was like, okay, I'm not going to be asked anymore because I was literally just, who am I referring them to? I was Googling carpet cleaning. Here, try them. And then I was like, what am I doing? We're just referring this business to everybody, so we started a carpet cleaning company, and we own it with my brother. He runs the day-to-day. We have a full-time employee, and the ability to get referrals from other agents within our company. There's 450 agents, right? So we have the ability within our own company, and now what's great is, I've got a lot of friends that work at other companies, and I'm catching referrals from them for their personal houses and for their clients. It goes back into prepping a house for the market. Let's get rid of those stains. Let's get rid of those odors. We do deodorizing now. The couch stinks because the cat pissed on it. Well, shame on you. No one should have cats, but it is what it is. And we do upholstery cleaning and tile cleaning. So it's like, if we could create something, find the right person to run it, but organically you have a network that can feed that without a ton of efforts being put in by us, right? Then another business was created. And we woke up this morning and money was being made from that business without our DNA on it. We didn't touch it.
I just found out we can get the smell out of my couch.
Yeah.
It's a win-win-win.
Yeah, it is a
Man,
win-win.
I-
You do not
I,
want to smell his couch.
I'm gonna just refer everybody to this podcast for inspiration in the morning.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm
like
ready- I'm
you know,
ready
let's-
to go,
Yeah,
damn it.
this-
Yeah.
Everybody's all pumped up.
Yeah. Well, you know,
Sweating.
it's something to get passionate about, and it's not just real estate either. You know what I mean? Because selling houses is no one really wants that as their legacy, right? That's you want to be known as the person that sold a ton of houses. That's not like a legacy you want to leave, but you know, this person did what they were passionate about. They enjoyed it. They did very well, and they provided for their family by chasing their dreams and doing what they're passionate about. That's a legacy.
And real estate's an easy example. Selling real estate's an easy example of this, just because the reality is you are tied to people's lives.
Phew.
You know,
More than
buying,
you asked
selling a
for.
home is the biggest thing happening, you know, that year for somebody, right? And it's a huge financial impact for them.
Biggest sale or purchase
And-
their life.
And more or less, it rides on how you handle yourself and
Mm-hmm.
what you do as a realtor. So,
So if you're not passionate about it, it shows. They know.
right.
Cool. So thanks for listening to the Real Estate Show. You can check us out on Facebook, and if you go to mpbterrateam.com, we got the Real Estate Show tab there. Subscribe on Stitcher, iTunes, YouTube, all that good stuff. All right, thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for listening to The Real Estate Show. Find us on Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube. If you're looking to sell or buy, talk to the Anthony Butera team of Keller Williams Realty, Greater Rochester. Visit AnthonyButeraTeam.com.